The son of Drona Punish, text number 23. Tvam adya purusha sakshad Ishvara prakrite para Mayam vyudasya chichaktya Kaivalye stita atmani Tvam adya purusha sakshad Ishvara prakrite paraha Mayam vyudasya chichaktya Kaivalye stita atmani. Kaivalya stita atmani. Ishvara prakrite para Mayam vidasya chichakya Kaivalye stita atmani. Ladies, Tvam adya purusha sakshat Ishvara prakrite paraha Mayam vyudasya chichaktya Kaivalye stita atmani. Tvam adya, you are the original Purusha, the enjoying personality. Sakshat, directly. Ishvaraha, the controller. Prakrite, of material nature. Paraha, transcendental. Mayam, the material energy. Yudasya, one who is thrown aside. Chit Saktya, by dint of internal potency. Kaivalye, in pure eternal knowledge and bliss. Stitaha, placed. Atmani, own self. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation, you are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You're always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Please repeat. You are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You're always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Purport. Purport. The Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita that one who surrenders unto his lotus feet of the Lord can get released from the clutches of nescience. Krishna is like the sun, and Maya, or material existence, is like darkness. Wherever there is the light of the sun, darkness or ignorance at once vanishes. The best means to get out of the world of ignorance is suggested here. The Lord is addressed herein as the original personality of Godhead. From him all other personalities of Godhead expand. The all-pervasive Lord Vishnu is Lord Krishna's plenary portion or expansion. The Lord expands himself in innumerable forms of Godhead and living beings along with his different energies. But Sri Krishna is the original primeval Lord from whom everything emanates. The all-pervasive feature of the Lord, experienced within the manifested world, is also a partial representation of the Lord. Paramatma, therefore, is included within him. He is the absolute personality of Godhead. He has nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material manifestation, because he is far above the material creation. Darkness is a perverse representation of the sun, and therefore the existence of darkness depends on the existence of the sun. But in the sun proper, there is no trace of darkness, as the sun is full of light only. Similarly, the absolute personality of Godhead, beyond the material existence, is full of bliss. He is not only full of bliss, but also full of transcendental variegatedness. Transcendence is not at all static, but full of dynamic variegatedness. He is distinct from the material nature, which is complicated by the three modes of material nature. He is Parama, or the chief. Therefore, he is absolute. He has manifold energies, and through his diverse energies, he creates, manifests, maintains, and destroys the material world. In his own abode, however, everything is eternal and absolute. The world is not conducted by the energies or powerful agents by themselves, but by the potent, all-powerful, with all energies. The world is not conducted by the energies or powerful agents by themselves, but by the potent, all-powerful, with all energies. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthavudaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Taramane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyade Satarane. Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshite yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana yomam pashati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashati tasyaham na pranashami na chamena pranashati. The true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized soul sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. And for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost to him, nor is he ever lost to me. In other words, according to the Vedic conception, Ekadasha Sita Yagyar, Vimsrasiyata, Jotashna Vimsrasiyata, Brahmana Brahmanasya Shakti Satedham Akilem Jagat. Ekadesha Sita Yagya. The Krishna, he's situated in one place, but everything that we see and everything we don't see is an emanation from his energies. It's expansions of Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is everywhere and everything's within him, but still he's aloof from everything. So this is considered his yoga aishvarya. On the other hand, when we want to forget Krishna, although he's everywhere, we can't see him. Therefore, naham prakasha sarvasha yogamaya samavrita Mudoyam nabijananti lokoyam ajam avyayam. That I'm never manifested to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I'm covered by my creative potency, Yogamaya, and so the deluded world knows me not. I'm unborn and inexhaustible. And the price we pay for not being conscious is that we don't experience the bliss. This is Baba feeling. The living entity wants to feel blissful all the time. And when bliss increases and is purified, because Baba, at the stage of Baba, is considered to be one ray in the sunshine of prema, then actual love is experienced. Now we experience love in a very minute degree. The love we feel is more or less our attachment to this, primarily due to the attachment to this body, and those things in relation to the body that we think will protect the body or make it happy. Deha patya kaladrishu atma saneshva satsupi tesham brahmato nidanam pashanapi napashati. Our attachment to this gross and subtle body is our love, how our love is being manifested now. Unfortunately, our gross and subtle body doesn't pay us back with love and affection. It pays us back with old age, disease, and death, and then we get another body to love again. Because, due to the illusion of the material energy, we think that we're in this body forever, and that my real business is to make it last forever, if possible. Ahani bhutani gachanti yamalayam shesha stavra ischanti kim askaryam takpuram. The most amazing thing is that although we know that our body is temporary and we're not going to be here forever, still, those who haven't left their body yet, that's ourselves right now, for instance, that we think we're going to be here forever. Therefore, when we have a choice between spiritual activity and material activity, it's a toss-up. We might do one or the other because we find them sometimes equally important, and sometimes we think spiritual activity is not so important. What I really have to do is protect this body and put it into a comfortable position as possible. So this is being brought out in the middle of a confrontation between Ashwatthama and Arjuna. Arjuna is conscious of the fact that everything is being controlled by Krishna, but Krishna, although he controls everything, still the living entity has his free will. He has a choice between Krishna putting him into illusion or Krishna bringing him out of illusion and bringing him into consciousness of his relationship with Krishna. But Krishna is rather shy. He's not going to force the living entity to remember him if the living entity doesn't want to. Especially he doesn't want to force the living entity to remember him in a favorable way, by devotional service. That's completely voluntary. Otherwise, when we don't voluntarily surrender to Krishna, then we involuntarily, or we voluntarily, however you want to look at it, we're forced to act according to the modes of material nature that we're under. But that's our choice. Those who have faith, those who have hope that this material world somehow or another is not Durashaya, but is Ashraya, it's our shelter, they're not going to take Krishna very seriously. Krishna, ite vidu swartikatim hi Vishnu. All we can do is try to intellectually try to understand how someone could be the source of everything, including all love and all bliss and everything else. It's our tiny little brains can't really accommodate such an idea. It can only be accommodated to that idea when Krishna reveals his unlimited potency. But he's not about to do it to just ordinary devotees even. Because neophyte devotees, they're still not quite sure whether they want material life or they want spiritual life, or they want a combination of both. And a combination of both is only possible to by utilizing spiritual life to gain materially. There may be some times when one experiences a little bit of bliss, but if one is determined to stay in the material world, that will not be very effective, even that bliss. Daksha, after he had his head replaced by a goat's head, he did not stay very long, after all. It's hard to go to a sacrifice when you have a goat's head. Someone may think about sacrificing you in the sacrifice. Therefore, he was a little embarrassed, and he quit his body shortly after getting a goat's head. But he was very dutiful, Daksha. You don't become a Daksha in the universe without many, many lifetimes of performing pious activity. Although he was envious of Lord Shiva, he's not the only one in the universe who's envious of Lord Shiva and everyone else. He got a little bit of purification when Virabhadra cut off his head, and then Daksha realized that actually it was the mercy of Shiva that I was put into this position. Otherwise, I was so puffed up, no, I wouldn't listen to anyone. I was just envious of everyone. I thought I was the big cheese in the material world, the big person, but then I didn't realize that actually I'm only 1/10,000 of this tip of hair and size soul. I'm completely insignificant. And the only thing big about me was my false ego. So he became a little humble because he was a dutiful person. You don't become a Daksha in the universe by going to the horse races every day and playing and gambling. You have to perform many, many lifetimes of pious activity. Still, he came back in another yuga, another Manvantara actually, and he started to perform penance and austerity. In that particular time, he had to offer prayers. So he offered prayers, beautiful prayers to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu came riding on the back of Garuda with many, many arms, surrounded by the demigods. And Daksha was so ecstatic because in the presence of Vishnu, there's only bliss and ecstasy. So he was so ecstatic, practically, he couldn't keep on standing. But then when it came time to ask for a benediction, many times the devotees don't ask for benedictions in the Bhagavatam, but there are some devotees who ask for benedictions. The Bhagavatam has to give us many different sides of the same reality. So Vishnu said, what do you want? So he said, I want unlimited sex life. He was just in bliss. He could have asked for eternal bliss, but that wasn't the reason why he offered the prayers. He had an objective. And when we have an objective, it's so powerful, having an objective, a goal. It's not possible just to forget it so easily. So therefore he asked for the ability to propagate the universe. He had 20,000 sons and then 10,000 sons. I mean, you have to be pretty strong to have 20,000 sons. So he forgot Krishna, and then he got entangled again, cursing Narada Muni. That's not the person you want to curse. Such a great personality, the incarnation of devotion, Narada Muni, if you curse him, you're not in very good situation. Your situation is not very good. But his curse turned out to be a benediction, so that Narada Muni can go around the universe and not stay in any one place and spread Krishna consciousness. Of course, he could come to Dwarka or some holy place, because that's not part of the material world. Still, we have to be careful that our objective is correct. Otherwise, we may endeavor in Krishna service, but the result we get may not be completely purified. As long as it's in the modes of material nature, then we won't actually experience the complete happiness that we're looking for. So that's where the dividing line is. If we believe there's happiness in the material world, that's all right. Krishna will give us plenty of opportunities to enjoy it. But if we don't accept that this happiness is limited and that there's a superior happiness in Krishna consciousness, then life after life, we may have to come and mix our devotional service, which is piety, with materialistic endeavors, which is impiety. So even a devotee who's living in the material world, trying to enjoy his senses, he's mixing, it's called mixed devotional service. It's like trying to eat sweet rice, which is sweet, and then putting in sand instead of sugar into it. The milk is there, but the sand is also there. So you have to get a mixed experience. Therefore, Arjuna is giving us a hint here that Krishna is the source of all energies, and if we want pure devotional service, or even if we don't want pure devotional service, at least we can ask for it. Even if we're not so sincere, then Krishna may help us a little bit, just because we took the trouble to ask for it. Because Krishna is giving us whatever we desire. We don't have to ask for anything. People in the material world are not consciously, most of them are not consciously trying to avoid Krishna, and instead asking for unlimited benedictions in so many spheres of life. They want the benediction, they can buy a car. They want the benediction, they can get a nice family. They have so many desires, but they have no idea even what a nice family would be like. Even they want family life, they're not even trained what a happy family life would be. They're trained to be less than animals, and therefore that's what they get in family life, is less than animals. Even the tiger has some affection for his children. Sometimes the tiger does eat his children, at least the lion does. He's hungry enough. But that's not common. So, but nowadays people they don't even have really any affection for their children. Whether it's because of their wife or their relatives. They become so divorced from reality that they don't even know how to enjoy the material world anymore in Kali Yuga. They don't understand that Krishna is our friend. He's not giving instructions either in the Vedas or in the Bhagavatam in order to hurt us or to frustrate us. He's giving us this information to make us happy. And he does that because by following his instructions, then the happiness we get, even in mundane activities, will be greater than if we didn't follow his instructions. Therefore it says, akama sarva kama va, moksha kama udarati, tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusha para. Even if one is akama, if one has no material desire, akama sarva karma va, or if one is full of desires, akama sarva karma va, moksha kama, or he wants liberation from this whole material existence. Akama sarva karma va, moksha kama udaradhi. Whatever one wants. Tivrena bhakti yogena. One should try to perform devotional service with some concentration. And then one will get what one wants. Otherwise, without Krishna's mercy, one doesn't get anything. One is just desiring something, doesn't get it for us. Which ultimately we may get money. We may think we've gotten money. We may think we've gotten some position. We may think so many different things. But ultimately what we're thinking, what we're doing is that these things will protect me, therefore I'll be happy, I'll be peaceful. But it's all illusory. But even if we want these things, Krishna will give them to us, just to show us that Krishna is a nice person. He'll give us what we want. And if we want these things, he'll give it to us. And if we want something higher, he'll give it to us also. If we hear about something higher, the problem is nowadays, the main problem with people is that they don't hear about anything higher. They have no choice but to follow their senses because they don't know there's any alternative. Prabhupada said the educational system is so bad, the only thing that people learn about is that they're a body, that they're made out of matter. That's what their whole educational system is about. Therefore, they have no alternative but to gratify their senses. The whole educational system is based on nescience, ignorance. The most obvious thing that our bodies is changing, but we're not changing. There's no talk about that in any university. What to speak of public school? Therefore, every day when I come back from the Ayurvedic doctor, we pass by the public school around the block here. And you see all the kids there, some of them are joyful. The ones who are usually 5 years old, they don't know what they're getting into. And the rest of them are morose. It definitely looks like they're going to a slaughterhouse, which they are. Whatever humanity, whatever finer feelings they might have, whatever conscience they have will be eliminated by this educational system. It's meant to teach people how to become lusty and angry and greedy and illusion and bewildered and etc., envious. That's the whole educational system. But here at Krishna, he can get us out of whatever we've gotten from our past unfortunate situation, whatever training we got from going through this educational system, whatever our parents lacked in our education, in our actual spiritual education, it can be gotten by Krishna's mercy. So that's our fortunate position. At least we know we have an alternative. We can actually get out of our illusion and realize we're eternal, and actually realize bliss and find out what real prema or what real love is about, what real affection towards Krishna and everyone else is like, rather than being limited by this very gross or even subtle material conceptions of life, which will ultimately lead to nothing, because the body will turn to nothing pretty soon. And therefore all our investment in the body will be useless, will be a waste of time. But we have to maintain the body in order to utilize in Krishna's service, because it's not our body, but that's why we should maintain our body. Not hope against hope that my situation will be the only one since time immemorial where I was able to live here forever in complete bliss and a material concept of life. That's material is illusion. She's given that illusion to everyone, including ourselves, but we should recognize it for what it is and hopefully try to get out of it through the process of surrendering to Krishna, as Arjuna is doing. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions? Yes. We have our microphone. Microphone. Oh, that's good. No one ate the microphone. Thank you. Here.
I was wondering that about Daksha's curse to Narad Muni. So how his curse actually worked on such a personality like Narad Muni?
It doesn't work. But Narada Muni accepted it so he can go around and preach more. Because Narada Muni is also a devotee. Daksha is kind of semi-like devotee. And therefore Narada Muni, not to frustrate Daksha, not that Daksha cursed him, Narada Muni is going, ooh. You can't touch me, I'm a pure devotee. Not to frustrate him, he fulfilled the curse. Went around the universe and preached more. Anything else? Yes. Here.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, because you spoke about the educational system, which is really bad. Still devotees, they send their children to high school and then university and masters and PhD and so on. And they are not very enthusiastic to send them for 1 month to, in the temple for training and so on. So how can we somehow change this trend? Or
Become a pure devotee ourselves. Then people appreciate, well, what a nice devotee. Maybe my son will be like that. We have to purify ourselves to become something worthy, that people will actually look at us and want their children to become like us too. So what else can you do? People are attracted if they think there's something superior, not just by theory, but by actual experience. Anything else? Hwala Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.